Hi, this is Mrs. Ruscio, and you are watching the Using Technology with Linear Functions notes. Today, you are going to learn how to graph lines on your calculator in relation mode, and then also use a graph trace feature if you don't already know how to do that. All right, let's dive right into example number 1. On a test, you were asked to graph this equation, 3x plus 2y equals 42. Well, that's weird. Usually we see things written as y equals or f of x equals. Okay, so I don't know what I'm doing just yet, but we'll talk soon. Let's use technology to see if we graphed it correctly down below here. All right, so the first thing that I'm noticing on my calculator when I try to graph this is that I have an equal sign there. I don't want that there anymore, so I'm going to hit delete and select relation. Then I'm going to type in my equation of 3x plus 2y equals 42. The equal sign is underneath control, and then you're just going to hit enter. Now, it looks like the graph isn't there, but it is. If you see it, I'm spotting it here. It looks like we need to change our window. But remember, I always use my hints on my graph to help me. So like, check it out. My Y highest is 16 and my X highest is 24. So let's go ahead and use our skills that we already know to change our window. Oh, that's not looking great, huh? Because I should see my y-intercept there and it's not. So I'm just going to keep hitting tab to get back to where I started from, and I'm going to change that to 25. So we are definitely seeing that this graph is not graphed correctly. So let's hit Control T to get the table to appear. Oh no! We've just learned that in relation mode, that tables are not going to help us. We can't use a table, but I have another plan. We're going to go into menu, hit trace, and then trace step. We're just bossing our calculator around to say count by one calculator. For some reason, it always defaults to automatic, and that's automatically decimals and gross. Okay, so now we have nothing. Okay, so let's go back in and hit menu, trace, graph trace, and aha, look at this little point appears and it tells us the coordinates down here. You are going to use the left and right, not up and down arrows, to generate all of these points. So what I'm going to do, because in order to create a great graph, we have to create a great table of values, I am going to put all these points in my table. So 0, 21, decimal 218, 415. Looks like we're counting by twos to kind of get to where we need to be. So let's see what this pattern is. You probably have spotted it already. 12, 9, 6. Okay, so we're going down by threes. Some of you may not need the table or the trace feature for very long because you're so good at following patterns with the X's and the Y's. Like the X's are going up by twos and the Y's are going down by threes. That's a really cool way to find slope too. It is a way to find slope. Okay, so let's go ahead and start plotting as many of these points as we possibly can, and then we'll use our straight edge to help us connect them. Looks like the first point that I can plot is 415, 6, 12, 8, 9, 10, 6, 12, 3, 14, 0. I could generate more points, but it looks like I have enough of them to create a straight line, which we're definitely going to use a straight edge for if I can get this to work. All right, so if I use my straight edge, is this going to let me use my straight edge? No, it's not. Okay, so you're using a straight edge. I unfortunately am not able to do this on my graph, but I'm going to try to draw the straightest line that I possibly can, which wasn't very straight, but I am going to put arrows on it and I am going to label it. So we just fixed the error that was the problem on example 1. The directions for both graphing in relation mode and trace feature are both in those little bubbles. All right, let's take a look at example number 2. So example number 2 says, is this point a solution? So is this point on this line that they gave us here? And justify using technology. So let's hit Control Doc to add a new page, and we're going to add a graph. And again, we don't have it as y equals, so we need to graph in relation mode by deleting the equal sign. All right, so 2y minus 3 is equal to 3x minus 7 and hit enter. To use the trace feature, we're going to go into menu, trace step, change it to 1, menu, trace, graph trace. Okay, so we are looking for the point 10, 15, and whoops, I went a little too far. No, this is not on the line. No. Okay, so let's justify. So the answer is no. When graphed, the point is 10, 13. So what we've learned is that our calculators can help us investigate graphs and kind of save us some time when graphing, if you didn't already know that.